Fox News is going to discuss welfare and its supposed links to people being single. Okay, now what I want you all to do is note their complete ignorance on this topic, and then identify what their tactic is to keep the intelligence out of the conversation. So check it out.
The majority of people on food stamps today, 86%, are in single-headed households trying to raise children. 48% of American children today are born into families with a single, never married mom. This is a problem. Their life is hard.
So, Richard, that is such a smart point, Star. Thank you. Richard, you just heard what Star said, and that's not an opinion. Those are facts. Every sociologist agrees that growing up in a single parent household makes your life harder and poorer. Why does the president, why has he not a single time encouraged people to get married when they have kids?
Well, listen, I don't think this is about marriage or traditional family, Tucker. I'm from a single-family household, and I've managed to be very successful. I think what this is about is finding a way to help people pull themselves up by their bootstraps. And that means you have to have a policy that allows for them to get a chance to go out there and get work that can allow them to make ends meet.
No, it's impossible
just
when you allow them to...
Which is, why wouldn't, since we know that marriage makes people less likely to be poor and go to jail, why wouldn't President Obama encourage people to get married? Simple question.
But marriage is not something that the federal policy can sort of encourage. What we need to do is create jobs in the economy, and we have to make ends meet. No, wait a second, Star.
When you're talking about $900 billion in means-tested welfare programs, and we know that the reason we have to enhance these programs is because marriage life has collapsed. People are having children in record numbers now outside of the traditional marriage. So, of course, their lives are harder. One is very difficult. We fix the problem by
raising the minimum wage. We fix the problem by investing in the American people. Majority of the people
on... Wage and you create
wait a second, Star.
Let me just jump in here. Hold on, Richard. Why would the Obama administration advertise for food stamps among college students and potential immigrants in Mexico? In Mexico, they're advertising, come to the United States and go on food stamps.
Because
Why would
that's
they do
another thing that has changed. What has changed is now immigrants are availed to the system. Keep in mind that the food stamp program is in the Farm Bill, and every time that is attempted to be changed, there are people in our society, mostly the liberals, who won't let us have the conversation that is at root of the problem, and that is that traditional family life has collapsed.
Star, you're missing the point here. Most of the people who are on food stamps are working Americans. They're the working poor. They have a job at Walmart. They have a job at McDonald's, and they still can't make ends meet.
You're missing an important component. If you're single and working, your home
you're making this about traditional family. It should be about raising wages, and you know it.
There's a lot more to talk about, but we are out of time.
That is classic. Just vintage Fox News. See, what they do is they invite on somebody who actually makes sense. That is the young African-American male on the right, Richard Fowler, and then somebody who really doesn't know what the crap they're talking about. That would be the young African-American female on the left, and then a host is moderating the so-called debate. And they are essentially not letting the person with common sense speak, while the moron is allowed to spread their stupidity. That is the Fox News model, and it is the reason why it is the center for far-right lunatics' argument. They're saying instead of focusing on the things that actually make so many people go on welfare, like stagnating and falling wages, or rising costs and expenses, or unemployment across the country, instead of focusing on the actual causes of this situation, let's blame it on the fact that people aren't getting married, since we can't think of anything else because we don't have a logical solution. That is despite the fact that it is a near consensus amongst the experts that marriage is not the reason why people go on welfare. I mean, what? Instead of people struggling by themselves, they can struggle together, and many times with the added pressure of an extra human being who you're supposed to feed, educate, and shelter, a child. Government trying to coerce people into getting married, that is not the solution to this epidemic of more and more people going on welfare. But then, did you catch that part where Richard Fowler said the obvious conclusion of if you want these people off welfare, raise the minimum wage? Because the majority of these people are working, and they're simply not getting paid an amount where you can actually live on for a 40-hour work week of working like a dog. And you know what? The lady laughed. Yeah, ha 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 ha, helping the poor, ha 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 ha, making sure people can survive, ha 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 ha. Don't you know I'm about to repeat an old washed up talking point and saying that it creates unemployment? Ha 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 ha, so funny. No, raising the minimum wage, need we say it again, does not create unemployment. Yes, if nationally the minimum wage was raised to $10.10, there would be 500,000 jobs lost across the country in the beginning. But with the extra money over for the 16 million people that they would have in their pocket, that would have a much larger effect across the country. And those 500,000 jobs would be gained back, plus many, many more. So another ridiculous talking point. And that dude on there, who shouldn't even be considered a journalist, Tucker Carlson, he pointed out the obvious in saying that college students and immigrants received welfare. Yes, yes, yes. College students, a group in which many are left stranded by their university and are not fed and are left to fend for themselves on how to get food. So yes, food stamps are pretty much a non-negotiable in that situation. And then we give food stamps to immigrants, of course, people who come from a foreign nation and were given citizenship by the government. They are now at the very bottom of society and are trying to find their way in a nation where most people do not move up in society no matter how hard they work. So again, food stamps are non-negotiable in that situation. And then I want to hammer this home for those conservatives who, no matter how many times we debunk it, still say it. Undocumented immigrants do not receive welfare. They just don't, no matter how many times you want to say it. They receive welfare. They receive welfare. They don't! Get over it! And you know why they don't receive food stamps? And how it's impossible for them to get food stamps? Because the government knows nothing about them! Because they're undocumented! Oh, I can't do this anymore. Fox News is not news, okay? Under any circumstances. But do you know why? Because they are chronic, compulsive liars that are not capable of telling the truth. And the reason they lie and fake and fearmonger about the news is because they must do it to fit their twisted, narrow-minded, outdated corporate agenda. Amongst regular people in this country, a moderate in the regular world is now a radical leftist in Congress, in the mainstream media. So imagine what a conservative is. They are a far-right lunatic, and that is Fox News for you, a far-right organization of lunatics. And now you know why. But don't you feel sorry for Richard Fowler, man? They didn't get one word in debating those fools. But again, that's the reason why Fox News is the #1 network on cable news. The moment you make sense, you are immediately cut off. So intelligence is never leaked into the discussion. And that far-right ignorance is all their viewers see. Simply sad. Well, thank you all for listening to Progressive Talk Daily. Remember to hit the subscribe button, spam that like button, and visit the comment section below. If you want more videos like this one, check out the rest of the channel. And remember to spread the word about PTD. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and remember, keep your head up. This country will one day, I can feel it coming on, it's finally going to go back on the right track. So stay positive, people. I love you all. Thanks for listening, and have a fantastic